dimension is where the point starts flowing out in 2 dimensions, creating those spiraling lines. Then on the bottom, you have the 3rd dimension where it becomes ratcheting, and that actually is a spiral you could draw around a pyramid shape. If you play connect the dots with those straight lines in the 3rd circle on the bottom, they connect to form a nice pyramid. If that's 1st, 2nd, 3rd dimension, then what the heck is in the middle? Well, that's the tetrahedron inside the sphere, which I showed you earlier in the one next to the owl. Same diagram, but a different form of it. Here it is in 1991. That's showing a new physics. Sometimes people think about a crop circle that they'd like to see, and then it shows up. In this case, they said, wouldn't it be cool if there was a Mandelbrot set that appeared in the crops? And the next frickin' day there was. So I'm doing a crop circle trip at the end of July. I'm going to be in London. There's still tickets available if you want to go do that. It's as inexpensive as we were able to make it while still not compromising quality. And what we're going to do is we're going to have all of you guys out there submit various designs, concept art, of what you'd like to see in a crop circle. We're going to vote on the one we like. We're not going to publicize it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think I can cooperate. All right. All right, we can do that. No problem. 10 minutes. We can do that. Going to have to rush a little bit, but we can do it. So, July 17, 1996, you got bigger patterns. We're just going to go through some of these. You can look at them. Gorgeous stuff. Showing the geometry. Here we have a Koch snowflake, another fractal. People didn't say it was a Koch snowflake. The circle makers say, fine. We'll come back and put a snowflake in the middle. Do it again, just to make you clear that it is fractals we're talking about. 1997. This is obviously an army of hedgehogs running round and round that caused this to happen. Actually, it clearly describes the planetary magnetic field, and it's so precise, there's no way this could have been done by a couple drunk guys. This is my favorite crop circle of all time. Beautiful mandala, which actually shows how all the galaxies in the universe are structured in a big, giant geometric grid. These all suggest genetic changes coming along. The breaking of chromosomes was revealed in 1991 here in Froxfield. Then as we go forward in 1996, you see clear examples of DNA at the top, the double strand. Then look down at the bottom left, and you see DNA strands again in a tetrahedron now, which suggests geometry. But then look at the right. Only less than a month later, you get triple DNA, 3 strands, not 2, suggesting a very spontaneous change is coming for DNA. Here's another example of DNA. You clearly see the double helix there. Here's another example of DNA double helixes, but now they're coming out from the galaxy. The galaxy is that pinwheel in the middle, and you see double helix DNA strands coming out, and you notice that those areas in the DNA strands that are highlighted are a Hebrew symbol of the Yod, which symbolizes divine energy coming into manifestation. As you see in this tarot card, the Tower of Destruction. There's Yods on the left and the right in yellow, symbolizing the divine energy that comes in and throws off the Illuminati, the crown of the ruling elite. Well, this is showing the exact same thing is going to do to the ruling elite what it's always done in the past. The cycles of karma come full circle, and there is an upgrade of DNA. There's very powerful symbolic information being given here. But there was also a circle that absolutely, unequivocally shows you the year 2012 as a planetary alignment. Here it is. Everything checks out for the exact alignment at the end of the Mayan calendar. And this formation has all the classic signatures of a real formation where the stalks are bent, not broken, and they continue growing after the formation was made. The inner planets line up perfectly with December 21st, 2012. He got the date wrong by 2 days, but that doesn't change the positions of these planets. They stay basically in the same place because they drift pretty slowly. Look at the middle, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, same thing. It's all there. Look at the outside, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Pluto's a little bit off, but we just demoted it to a planetesimal, and they probably didn't want to mess with the geometric harmony of the design, so they said, we'll just put it where it's going to look good. But obviously this is symbolizing December 21st, 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar. Well, the farmer gets pissed off, and he drives a series of lines through the crop. The circle makers say, oh, cool, you don't like crop circles? Here, let's come back and make twice as many of them. Just what they did. Now there's one on the right. Dr. Beverly Rubik pointed out that all of these little toys on the outside of the circle on the right actually are stylized descriptions of little guys inside your cells called organelles that make the cell work. But notice that they're all outside the cell wall. What's inside the cell wall is now a void. It is no longer within our dimension. And if you look at the sun, here's a really interesting thing. The sun starts out December 21st, 2012, right where it belongs, and then poof, the diameter of the sun spontaneously widens to be as wide as Venus. This is talking about a solar event, some sort of solar system transformation that reaches its apex in 2012, leading to the transformation of biology. Hence, all the organelles are now dumped outside the cell. And notice on the left, you also have the incoming comet, which symbolizes massive, massive change. So this is the symbolism we're seeing here. And the mainstream media is paying attention to it, as you see in this little article right here. So this is interplanetary climate change. This is what's going on. They're predicting it in the crop circles. They're talking about it by widening the diameter of the sun and pointing at December 21st, 2012, showing a solar system change. Well, here's the proof. We know the galaxy's pushing us into this vortex phenomenon. This is the smoking gun of 2012 scholarship. We're going to go through a lot of slides fast here. Solar activity has increased. It's the highest it's been in 8,000 years now. Whoop! How do you like that? 8,000 years, it's at a higher point than it's ever been, which has been predicted by ice core samples. If that's happening to the sun, it's going to affect all the planets as well. Even the Army and mainstream media is now saying the sun may be responsible for climate change. Solar storms are shooting through the solar system faster than they ever have before, taking only 15 minutes rather than a number of hours or even days to get here. That's suggesting the energy in space is heating up. NASA is warning that in September 2012 there could be a massive solar event. They've actually gone on record saying that, calling it a space Katrina, because it could totally ruin the Earth. The sun's conveyor belts are slowing down, which again suggests a change in the flow of time, a slowing down in the flow of time, which can only be measured by something outside the level of time that you're looking at. Remember I said when I'm on stage here, if time changed for me, then you might see me moving around really fast or really slow. It appears that under the sun's surface, the flow of time is slowing down, whereas outside the surface, it's speeding up. And this is a typical equilibrium that the flow of time makes, where it goes slower in one area and faster in another. Solar wind has gotten weaker, and this has also caused the protective bubble of the sun's magnetic field, which is much larger than the planet's, called the heliosphere, to shrink. 25% smaller than it's ever been. That's a fact. That's not disputed. And that appears to be caused by this new zone of energy we're moving into in the galaxy. We're also getting massive galactic dust coming in since the year 2000 that we've never seen before. Mercury is having a magnetic field increase that was not seen in the 70s, and now it's been seen in 2008. Here's a link to that. They came back in 2009 and they found magnetic tornadoes. Got it. Magnetic tornadoes on Mercury. Here's the diagram of where the magnetic field is changing. All the blue spots are where the magnetic field's heating up. Green glow on Venus, 2,500% increase, is all going to be on the web, so I don't have time to go through it. We're just going to have to zip through some of this stuff. There's been a dramatic decline in Venus's sulfur gas in a very short period of time, only 5 years. We're also seeing Venus's plasma tail increasing, which is caused by galactic energy, galactic particles streaming into the solar system. You look at clouds and ozone appearing on Mars. There's global warming on the poles that have not happened before. The ice caps are melting. It's mainstream media talking about this. Hurricanes appearing on Mars. There's no water on Mars to cause hurricanes. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. It's the same idea. The whole frickin' solar system is changing. Hurricanes on 2 planets. We got a global superstorm that occurs on Mars. All this red dust forms. Just days before September 11th, Mars is the planet of war. We appeared to have remotely influenced Mars in time, backwards in time, to suddenly flare up in a worldwide storm. And I'll get into that on Monday, the consciousness aspect of this. Jupiter is growing a plasma torus, which has had a 200% increase in density between 79 and 95. It didn't even exist prior to 1976. And as we go through, we see an increase in the density of the particles. We see a disappearance of white ovals, which was equated with a global warming of 18 degrees in 1 decade. And that's exactly what started to happen. Raging thunderstorms popping up through the deck in 2008. As indicated by the arrows here, that's the hottest anything has ever been seen on Jupiter. A planet-wide disturbance, a global upheaval. That's what these quotes say right here. They don't know what's causing it. Massive climate change is the only explanation. Then the little moon Io has had a 1,000% increase in its ionosphere, charged particles, Europa's gotten much brighter than expected. Ganymede, 200% brighter, and 1,000% increase in its density. Saturn's Taurus has increased by 1,000% in its density. There's another example. This came out even more recently. They just found that one, brand new. Aurora are appearing at the poles. They weren't not there before 1995. They could have seen them if they were there, but then that glow started in 1995. That's false color. That's infrared, but it was not there before 95. Massive X-rays appeared in 2004 they hadn't seen before either. And the rotation of Saturn is slowing down, again suggesting a change in the rate of the flow of time. Uranus, featureless as a cue ball, 1986. 1999 is hit by huge storms. All these white spots start appearing. NASA blows it off as a seasonal change related to the tip of the planet against the sun. Then in 2004, Uranus gets even brighter. This is what it looked like back in the day. Now you see all these clouds showing up over here on the right. Boom, look at all this mess that's appearing that was not there before. This is your backyard changing. 1989, you had relatively few bright clouds. Between 96 and 02, it gets 40% brighter in a near-infrared range. I'm going to show you how it looks. Starts like this, and you see some clouds. Now pay attention to the bottom in particular. 1998, and then 2002, boom. This is a huge transformation. It's happening in a very short period of time. Even Pluto is experiencing what they call global warming. So Earth changes are not unique to the Earth. We have earthquakes increasing. That's not global warming. Volcanic activity is increasing. And I have to make a concluding statement, and I will do it as soon as the announcement stops. So, sea level, all these other things are going up. Let me get through all this because I don't have time. We got to get to the good stuff here. This is spontaneous life that was generated from beach sand that was sterile. There was nothing else in there but sand and water. These little critters grew. This is showing you life spontaneously manifesting from non-living material. That little guy is my favorite one. DNA arises from the field. This gives us a lot of proof that something is going on. We found identical creatures at the North and South Pole that don't appear anywhere else, 235 of them, startled the scientists, whales, worms, and crustaceans. Remains a mystery how they could only be at the poles. Here are the guys I want you to see. These only appear at the poles. The energy fields of the universe create these guys. So if the energy fields of the universe can make these little guys appear only in one place, then we do have scientific evidence to suggest that there is the ability for the solar system to promote evolution, that genetic changes can be triggered by this solar system climate change. That's what I'm going to get into on Monday. If you come back tomorrow on Sunday, I will be doing a talk where I'll go into more detail about this stuff, and I'm going to be doing a dream sharing workshop where we're going to actually get into the science of how to analyze your dreams to best understand how this change will affect you on a personal level. Thank you for coming. Here's Ken.